Hello, everyone, and welcome to the FCBDU podcast, your backstage pass to the magical world of Fat Chance Belly Dance Style. I'm your host, Deanna, and I invite you to join me along with a variety of special guests and experts as we explore the beauty, intricacies, and lifestyle topics of this captivating dance style. Grab a comfortable seat, tune in, and let's embark on a journey through the rhythms, movements, and history that make Fat Chance Belly Dance Style an enchanting experience like no other.
Hello.
Hello! Oh my goodness!
I'm really glad to see you today.
Yes!
Thank you. And
I'm
thank you for doing this. You're amazing. Oh my God. Thank you for doing this. It really is really fantastic and very much appreciative, having to do this with you again and going through all the cultural heritage in Morocco always present. So
Yes!
I'm really to how happy
Oh.
and delighted I am, honestly.
Oh, good. Well, we have this whole month is dedicated to Morocco, and my goal with this is to, of course, showcase your classes, even your new ones that are coming up, but also, we say our style is influenced from all of these different places. But what my goal is to show exactly what, right? Exactly what is influenced, and also to showcase just like the beauty of all the other aspects that maybe aren't influenced in our dance. So.
Course. Of course, sorry, had to put my volume up, that's all, yeah. Oh, of course, yes, absolutely. And this is really quite good for all dancers
Yes.
to actually see and hear. And also, we've heard on the podcast in the past several teachers saying their own perspective, and this is widening it up rather than the same teachers saying what they think. So this is widening it up and getting others to be heard and our perspectives to be heard and seen and shared as well. So thank you for that. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so grateful for you, Nawarra. I love all of your classes. Alina's been working on the closed captioning, and today she sent me a message and she said, I love Nawarra. It's like, I know, because you're so giving. You're not just like, this is how you do this thing. You explain, like, why are you doing this, and about the music that you're listening to. And it feels like it's just such a gift, to be able to have that experience. So I'm just so grateful to have you as a part of
Thank you.
us.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Appreciate your words and let's make it quite a brilliant month, a Moroccan month,
A Moroccan month, right?
Moroccan month. Let's make it a Moroccan month. Very well, strongly present in the dance community, whatever style they are. So yeah, let's go for that.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. So yeah, I thought thank you for coming today. I thought we would have like a nice conversation about like we were talking a little bit on email, like cultural appreciation versus appropriation, but also like the importance of just learning about other cultures that are inspiring to you. So I thought we could start with, I have just a few questions, but I love to just take the conversation wherever it tends to go. But so my first question would be, how does learning about cultural sources enhance a dancer's understanding and appreciation of the dance form? I know that's kind of a big sentence, but we can just kind of go with what comes to mind.
No, that's absolutely fine. Okay. I personally think right, this is a big subject. This is not just something, that can be discussed in about half an hour or an hour or anything, but this is a big subject. But it's very good to share. Learning about any dances of origin or fi- by learning about the origin or meaning of different styles of cultural dances, people can develop a deeper respect and appreciation of the diversity. So if any style of the dance coming to learn about the Arabic or the Moroccan dancer, the Moroccan dancers, they will create a deeper understanding of that culture. They learn about the stereotype prejudices that is within that dance culture, and basically they create their own perspectives. Moroccan dance, in particular, is not just an energetic and rhythmic sort of style, but it also have a complex symbolic and spiritual dimensions. So learning about Moroccan dance, or dancers or performers or students will get to learn a bit more about the symbols, the spiritual dimension that exists in the music genre and then in the dance. Basically learn to appreciate the artistic elements as well of different cultures, or mainly the Moroccan dance, like the melody, harmony, and all that and all that. So basically, coming back into your basically first question, it says learning about different cultures is exposing those dancers into learning a bit more deeper about that dance style, appreciating it more, learn the history, learn the elements of it, learn the identity of it. Because don't forget, certain dancing styles, and I'm speaking about Morocco, Moroccan dance, there is an identity there. And some of that identity has been, how am I going to word it, has been uh, taken away or disregarded in a way. So if we come to learn about certain dances in Morocco where the identity has fallen apart in a bit, we have to respect that. So when we represent somewhere, we need to represent it with respect and an understanding in terms of using the right moves, the right turns, the right facial expression, and avoid to use anything that we should not be using or the identity try not to use. Um, and basically that is it, Diana. What do you think is that from? Don't forget, I'm speaking. I mean, that's what I says to you at the beginning. I really appreciate the fact of you doing this because this is my own perspective into this. What do you think from the FatChanceBellyDance community and from your own perspective and from your own students surrounding you? So what do you think? What elements, you know, by
Yeah.
learning the origin, what that add to them?
Yeah, well, I was actually drawn to this style of dance because I love learning about other cultures. My dad's from Cuba, my mom's from the US. I lived in Europe. I love traveling and learning about how different people live, seeing different perspectives. So I've always been attracted to just learning about other cultures by traveling and exploring. And so when I found this style of dance, I loved that it was kind of like I could learn more and incorporate all these other things and dance to this kind of music that really spoke to me, or just an opportunity to dive in a little deeper, if you will. And what I found was then when people maybe come up to me after a performance and want to talk about something I'm wearing or the music that we were dancing to, I feel like I can educate a little bit because I can say, "Oh, that music is so cool. It's typically used in weddings, and this is what it means." Or, "Oh, I got this necklace when I was in India. I got it from this, person in Rajasthan, and this is what this symbol means." So I feel like it just enriches my dance. And I know when you were saying, like a lot of the music and a lot of even the adornments, there's a spiritual aspect to that, and a very like a reverence that should be shared. So I wear certain things to bring in that, almost like so that my dance becomes a ritual, and so I want to make sure that what I'm putting on my body and expressing in my dance ties into
Yeah,
the energy and that I want to share with the people that
yeah,
I'm dancing with.
yeah. Well, that's exactly it. That's exactly it. But from my own active as a Moroccan dancer, I would say learning from dancers is please learn the cultural aspect, learn the history, listen to people's stories, listen to people, learn the different identities in one country. Don't forget, we are Moroccans, but we are not one Moroccan, if that makes sense. We are diverse, and that's what makes us unique and special and varied in our dance styles. So you come into the Moroccan dance, you'd like to represent a certain element or aspect in the Moroccan dance within the style you represent, is learning, digging into the Moroccan culture and understanding what you want to represent to add it to your dance style. Basically, that is it, really. I mean, for me, as an answer to this, that's how it is: learning, educating, but you use the word enriching, you give it more
Mhm.
richer, more cultural present, but try to understand the history as well, the history behind every single thing, every single move you use, expressions, those maybe, that type
Mhm.
of thing. So understanding the meanings, the cultural aspects to that before actually using it. But yeah, 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 it's keep going, keep learning. That's where it is. So yeah,
It's exciting to me. It's exciting to know that there's always something more to learn. Like I'm never going to be finished learning
right.
in the style of dance that I'm dancing, Fat Chance Belly Dance style, but I mean really any dance style because there's always all these things that I can bring in.
And
So something I've been trying to learn more about is the music of Morocco because there, as you said, you're more one country, but you're so many different people. There's so many different styles of music throughout Morocco. That's like amazing. And then learning the instruments within those different within the different music and the different songs and the different rhythms. As a dancer, I want to know when I'm hearing this
and
drum, what does it mean in this pattern, or what do the gargabas mean when, or the sound of them, so I can tune in and dance to it even better. So yeah, it's exciting.
something, Diana, that could be tricky for Moroccans as well, because when you dance certain styles, say for example in the Atlas style, Atlas Amazigh or Suessa, or it's what you dance or the musical instruments what you mentioned that you dance to. It's not the same one that we would dance to when you listen to the northern style of music or the south or the Gidra. So it's getting used to different styles, and that could be tricky for us as Moroccans because there is an Arabic joke or Moroccan joke, foreigners in our own land, really, because when you get the northerners going to south and listening to Gidra or the Sahrawi dance, it intrigues them. It's quite interesting for them, and you'll see them, and that's happened. Honest to God, it's happened. This is between quotation marks. This has nothing to do with podcast what we're doing, but this is really an interesting. I do this dance holidays, as you know, all over
Mhm.
the country, and sometimes, I mean, I'm from Casablanca, the big main city, and my brother comes with me and he works and all that, and we go down south. When we went to Agadir, when we went further to Tiznit, further down south, obviously we had the Sahrawi rhythm. So the guys were doing the Sahrawi and the Gadra and playing, and the dancer coming in with the arms and all that. And bless them, just because they heard or they knew we from Casablanca and we've got the group of Europeans or the English coming to learn the dance, they started explaining, but I don't think they realized they were talking, and I'm teacher, so they didn't really. And I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's in their head, oh, these guys, they've got the group of dancers, they're coming from Casablanca, you don't know much about our culture. I'm gonna, and it was in India, and I was just like, do you think we're foreigners in our own country? What you telling me, I can tell you more about it. Just, no, just I'll listen to you so you can explain it to them. And I'm like, yeah, okay, right. So this is something can be quite tricky between us as Moroccans. It's like when you get the Northerners going to the South and hearing the rhythm and seeing the style, they will ask questions and they will find it's not something that are watched on a daily basis or they'll watch on a telly or see. They can only see it if they travel to that particular area, the particular region, or certain festivals,
Yeah.
government festivals and what have you, so they can see. So yeah, so like I said, this is not just the European or the American or the English dancers. That applies on us as Moroccans when we go. We get people coming in from that region, even though as a Moroccan trying to explain to you what they're doing, what does that mean, what's the rhythm is, how do we play it, how does it come out, how would it come out quietly, subtle and proper, then it would come out if it was played by you know. Yeah, that is that, and it happens all the time, within the groups. Whenever we are in the region, we get people because we work with people from the region when we're in. You get, the locals from that region coming and telling us what's what, and yeah. But coming back to the question, yes, the only thing I maybe stress on that is learning and learning it properly,
Mm.
traveling if you can, searching, searching the main sources, the main heads, learning from them. There is not everything on Google and not everything on YouTube is correct. So,
Yeah.
but I think it's Not everything on YouTube is correct, but seek information from sources, study, learn, seek for the masters, ask questions, don't be afraid of asking questions, don't be afraid of making mistakes either,
Oh, thank you for
because
that.
this
Yeah,
is
don't
how
be
we
afraid to make a mistake. That's how we learn, right?
it's me doing Spanish dancing. I'd be all over the floor. No, no, it's honestly, it's nothing wrong as long as you admit your mistake and as long as you educate from that mistake and you move on. And there
Yeah.
isn't, there isn't. I mean, come on, politics, they're bloody making mistakes every day.
Right. Right.
Like, so just
Yeah.
that's that. Yeah,
And as you said, like Google, it's really interesting how if we were sitting next to each other on our computers and I went to Google and I searched dances of Morocco or music of Morocco and you searched it, we're going to get we're going to get two
thank
different results because it's Google is looking at it, where am I, like what's my IP address, okay, it's English, everything, anything that's going to be translated in English, right? So I'm not going to see anything that's truly from Morocco because
Arabic.
it's going to be from somebody that wrote it in English. Whereas you're
Yeah,
going to get based off of your experience, your other searches, like all the things. So
yeah.
just Googling something isn't it's not just a matter of, oh, just Google it and you'll figure it out. No, 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 no. We have to know exactly where to go to get something that's really accurate because we're not seeing, I mean, I'm saying me as somebody living in the United States, it's
Yeah,
I'm not seeing stuff that I can just, oh, well, this is in Arabic and this is from Morocco. Let me just translate it to English and
yeah,
get it
yeah.
from the source. It's not that easy. So yeah, so I'm just so grateful for your classes because now I'm able to understand about some of the different regions, and then now I can search specifically. I can't say the word, but like Ganawa. I can search
No,
specifically. Yeah. And then I can look just for that type of music or just for that type of just for that information. And then it gets a little bit more specific. So yeah. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely, yeah, yeah, definitely. And like you said, search with the right sources, maybe search in the right
Mhm.
direction, and yeah, you will, you will get. I, I'm going to add this. The world changing now, so it's not the same as we used to. So no, it's not the same as I mean, I'm speaking about. I mean, living in the UK for such a long time, I've seen UK change all the last 20 years I lived in. So information have changed. The way to get information have changed. The way to seek information have changed. Yes, Google doesn't have anything, but there's libraries. I'm sure there are teachers around. We're very lucky to have the internet. So yeah,
Yeah.
so anything you want to learn or anything you are taken by in terms of music or style or jewelry or outfits or search about it more. Yes, do share it. Do share it. Because another thing as well, so that see that's me. I think my head's full and when I start conversation I go everywhere.
I love
But this is
it.
it. Can I just say, when from a Moroccan perspective, a Moroccan thing, when we see our cultures is danced respectfully by a foreign or Europeans in general or United States, it makes our day
Mhm.
because we appreciate that that culture has gone far, far, far and beyond and reached another land, another people, another culture, and has been taken on and been represented. Where the upset starts when things may be slightly done unculturally or represented in a political way or something, and this is where the upset will start, and this is where we get people saying things and what have you. But when
Mhm.
you take, let's say, Hawara, Hawara is an Arab Amazigh, the dance style. It's in fact a Hawara. There is Hawa Debka, the Debka, the Arabic Debka, and
Yeah.
there is there is a Debka called Hawara. Okay, and it's the same, exactly the same name. It's just in Morocco, those Arabs, when they came to Morocco, they lived with the Amazigh. So there is a dance of Hawara, which represents a power of a female dancer within the male. The line is our males, okay? And the female, it's only one female, and there's a lot of hopping and jumping into this dance that is beautifully done on stage. And this dance has, I have seen it's been represented, but in not the right context, if I may put it this way. So the fact of seeing Hawara, which us as teachers of Moroccan, very rarely that we do, very rarely that we teach, because it's very hard and you have to teach it live, because there is a movement where it ends, where the dancer goes round and she takes the fella under her arm, which shows the power of women, which shows a pride of being a female in a tribe, pride of being a woman in an Amazigh tribe. But none of them are, I bet you bring me any Moroccan dance teachers for Hawara. No, they might perform it, but they won't be able to teach it because it's very, very hard. Whereas this dance style, for some reason, has reached the United States, and it's nice to see it, but I just wish they drill and I just wish they travel to see it live so
Mm,
they'll know what they've done so you can be represented. If that makes sense, if that makes sense. So
yeah.
we do take when we see cultures has been shared internationally. Do you know what I mean? By different people, different cultures, call it Americans, English, French, German, any. But it'd be nice to have seen it, done in its right context or format. And so this is between quotation mark, Diana, just to give you an idea.
Yeah.
But trust me, Morocco will appreciate if they see some of their culture, some of their dances being reached far and beyond, like what we call in Arabic behind the sea, just far away from the sea. So it's moved out Morocco, come out the Africa's continent and reach wherever it reach around the world and represent it. They will take pride. They will take pride.
Well, thank you for that. That's a really excellent point and a really great story to tie that in. And it's it's like if you like the audience must have, and the dancers at that point must have missed so much of the energy and the profoundness of the dance because they didn't maybe study it in its in depth, or they didn't really experience it. So it's like they're missing out on so much. And that's what I'm hearing. I don't know if
Maybe,
that's true.
or maybe they were taken by the fact of, hang on, this is Arabic, this is Amazigh, this is
Ah,
Moroccan, and the
yeah.
feature is very strongly present. I like to represent that, and I will represent it. But like I said, I just wish they reached out. I wish they've done a bit more study, and I wish, and this is not to knock the group off in no shape or form. The group have done what others could not do. We, the Moroccans, do not teach that style because it has to be done live, not live as in live through digital, but I mean properly in a festival, and it has to be done by at least six fellas, six men. It has to be male and female issue it's an element in this dance style. So it has to be 6 or 7 men led by one female, one woman
Hmm.
that does the hopping, that does the strength, that does the power, that does the turn, and that does the finish with the drum beats, with the bendir beat, and so on and so. It's beautiful, honestly, and I
I
find
have
I'm gonna
chills. I
go.
just
But honestly, I really, really is. And this dance could take to 4 or 5 minutes. And if you watch it on and on, you will not get enough of it. It's called the Hawara dance. It's a very, very strong dance. But it has been, I'll write it in the chat so you'll have it. And it
okay.
has been actually, Hawara. It has been featured, like I said, it's been featured um, in YouTube, you'll see some authentic ones, yes, but it's been featured on national tellies and all that and all that. But like I said, for me, it's like, wow. I mean, I've never had a teacher asking me to teach that. Maybe they don't know about it, but when I saw that, I thought, none of us teachers, Moroccan teachers, to teach that, and for a for a group to get it all out and bring it, and maybe they followed a certain website or followed certain clips or whatever, but they tried their best, and it's quite good. But you think just which the more studies have been done about it. That's all, yeah.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they took that and thought, I wonder how we could make this better or learn more about it. Maybe maybe they did that going forward. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that. Yeah, maybe we'll add that into that. Yeah, no, I, but like I said, it's just learning. There isn't anything that you be one have learnt it all or know it all. No, you're always in the process of learning. And don't forget the dance. The dance changes by the years and by the time. So, so the music changes by the time and by it develops. It changes. So you have to learn the changes as well within that dance as well. So yeah, that's how you keep going.
Yeah. Ah, it's like a never ending, but a beautiful thing, I think. And that kind of talks a
Mhm.
little bit about like the challenges or the misconceptions that dancers face. So, what challenges or misconceptions do dancers face when incorporating cultural elements into, you know, a more fusion dance form? And I think you kind of touched on that where it's like the research, like trying to find the source to research. But if we can talk a little bit about, yeah, the misconceptions, I guess if they don't know about the context of the dance that they're doing or the song that they're dancing to, then
Yeah,
they're missing out on it.
right. So the misconception that the dancers can falling into is by representing something they're not 100% sure about or they've only just seen. So, like I says, the research, the study, the understanding, reading about history, knowing the cultural appropriation, appreciating that culture as well before stepping up and doing it. Don't get taken by the colours or the headscarves or tiaras or whatever the dancer would use to represent that. No, but understanding the concepts behind it. Because, like I says, you could be touching people's identity and then representing it. Now, I think in one of your questions, there was another thing about the fusion side of it. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, the fusion, I mean, coming back into the fusion is you merge several style of dances into one style, and it can be creative. It's a creativity element in the fusion to bring up that. But to add the Moroccan dance into any fusion style, now within the Moroccan community, well, within the Moroccan as Morocco as a country or Moroccan dances, the new styles that you watch these days on stages is all fusion. So nothing is what we would normally have seen years ago or what we would normally see in the rural areas and in the tribes. No, everything's on stage now. Within Moroccan dance companies is fusion. Why? Because fusion, like I said, is the creative element itself. But what you would see the Moroccan dancers do on stage that others wouldn't do is respecting that. So, say for example, the shoulder thingy on the amazigh, it has to be shoulder to shoulder. So you see the Moroccan groups representing a fusion amazigh dance style, doing maybe a little bit of a modern hip hop style or moves, but when it comes into that little amazigh tune or movement, they'll come together representing it, then they'll split, then they'll carry on doing their fusion style. Similar applies on the Gnawa. The Gnawa now, I mean, the Gnawa is going to walk worldwide now. Everybody do Gnawa music in festivals, in the and parties and everything, in the dance and everything. And even the Gnawa's been, I've seen Gnawa's been fusion, and it's lovely. It really is. It really is. It adds to me. It's not the, if I may say, usual norm gnawa I would normally see, and the gunplay and and one's going with her and all that. No, I've seen them with a certain combinations, certain patterns. These are Moroccan. These are Moroccans. Watch out, guys. Watch out. Essaouira Dance Festival or Music and Dance Festival. Essaouira. It takes place on the end of June, I think. Some of it can be live. Well, there's a Facebook page about the Essaouira festival music, and then I'll do it in the chat. And
Okay,
if
and I'll put
you
all these
put
in the show
photo
notes.
dance festival, and I think some of it can be live recorded, so you'll see the actual dance, and you see the group, the Moroccan groups are actually they're bringing them from Casablanca, Rabat, wherever, and they are dancing, they are fusioning that Gnawa style. So, like I said, you don't see the usual hopping and all that, but you see the additional certain moves Foganawi moves, but added to it. But yeah, they give it a charm. So as long as there is a respect for that particular style when you're representing it, and you're not overdoing it, you're not, if I may say, you're not westernizing it, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. You're not westernizing it. You're adding into it, but you're keeping that, with respect. With respect, you do whatever, even if you're having to do the fashion expression and all that. That can be used and can be done. Then yes, why not? Go for it. Go for it. So that's that. Yeah. So that's the only thing I could think about the elements of the fusion what you mentioned earlier on. As sometimes there are a long standing concern about the liberal way in which certain dances uh, can borrow can borrow other people's culture, and this can might be called a Western license to drill on it. So if you are fusioning one of the Moroccan style, you have to add the fact that it's slightly how am I going to say, it's slightly fusion. I think that's the word I'm going to use. Yeah, I was going to say it's slightly Western in a way, but I wouldn't use that. I'll use fusion in that thing. Um, some of the coming back in about the elements that condensers have, is not understanding or not knowing or understanding the cultural aspects behind any moves. So
Hmm.
these are the elements some of the elements that dancers can face while doing obviously the Moroccan dance. So it's basically not understanding the cultural aspects behind any moves or combination. Uh, like says overdoing the facial expressions, using the wrong tattoos, because the tattoos are meanings, and certain ones they represent certain tribes. So people might take that as an offense if it's been used. But I think the tattoo itself, in its concept, is a huge, huge subject.
Hmm.
And for any dancers doing the tattoos, please, please refer into the masters, and they are professors and teachers there are books that actually would tell you what's the meaning on certain elements and what it means and what does it represent. Some of it happiness, some of it the married, some of married women, some of it is from certain tribes, some of them free women, some of them kids, some are life, love, hate, all that. So they are um, different, how am I going meanings on the tattoos.
Hmm.
So yeah, these can be a major sort of tool of cultural expression and assertion, basically, uh, that's showing people's identity. So yeah, understanding those. So please, that's my message to any dancer. Try to understand, try to dig deep, try to search, try to learn. Same like going back to say history again and all that. So yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah.
And I just want to add how, so dance, I know for both of us, I mean, I think for both of us, dance is like our life. I mean, we express ourselves through dance, we heal through dance, we grow, we connect with other people. Like dance is life. And so when I'm learning about these things, there's been some things where and this is not just for Morocco, but for anything, there's been some things that I've learned it, and then I'm like, oh, actually, I don't resonate with that, and I don't do it anymore, or I don't dance to that song anymore, or something like that. Or then there'll be other elements that I'm just like really drawn to. And when I learn more about it, it's like, this is exactly what I needed at my life and at this point in time. And then my dance just becomes that much more meaningful. And if somebody, is coming up to me or another dancer or a student and they want to talk about it, it's like we can have these more in-depth conversations about, oh, I'm wearing this piece of jewelry because we were dancing to this song and it reminds me of this feeling, or because the history of it is related to this other thing. And it just becomes not just about the external performance aspect of dance, but it's like the internal transformative aspect of dance.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But I'll still be very careful if I'm representing that culture to use the right jewelry,
Yeah.
tattoo,
Yeah.
you know,
Absolutely.
costume. I would, because like I says, it is still people's identity. Yeah, I would. I mean, yeah, I would. I mean, it's like when you learn cooking, you know, and cookery books, you know, there are cookery books that they'll tell you the Moroccan cookery books, but then there's nothing Moroccan recipes in them. Because they've been added, they've been, you know, call it fusion, call it Western. Everybody tasted it the way they wanted to taste it, and they've created cookery books calling it Moroccan tagine and Moroccan this in their own ways, similar to the dance, you know. So yeah, you would see people adding their own elements, yes, and you will see people having the emotional, like what you explained, the emotional side that we because they're using that certain things because they've done it in a different dance style or but when it comes into representing that culture, I'll be very careful still to
Mm.
respect that and use it properly rather than having my own personal
Yeah,
elements, if
your
that
own
makes sense.
interpretation of it. Right.
Yeah, I personally would, and I would advise anybody to do it that way. But
Yeah.
you know,
Not just like,
it,
oh, this is pretty and it's purple, so I think I'll wear it today. It's like, no. The meaning behind it and the history behind it, or the other ways that it's worn within the culture.
yeah,
Nice.
absolutely, absolutely. So it has to be, you know, it has to be well thought of, well sought after, and it's represented properly. Basically, that's what it is.
Yeah. You were just talking about food. So okay, so here in the US, as you know, I mean the US is a melting pot, which I guess a lot of the world is these days as well. So I was thinking about this pretty much all week, knowing that we were going to have our call. Um, so for me, I don't really have a culture of my own, right? And in the West, a lot of us don't really have, unless we're like one of my parents is an immigrant and the other one is from the US, but I don't have like my own culture that I can be proud of with my own music and my own dances and my own language and like all of this. And a lot of us here in the US, because it is this melting pot, are kind of in that same boat, right? So it's like, well, if we want to if you want to experience culture, you have to go out and seek it and find what works, not what works for you, but find what you're attracted to and why. Yeah. But in the element of fusion, my husband loves to cook, and we'll find a new restaurant and it's like Japanese Mexican fusion. You know what I mean? And you go in and you're like, what am I about to eat right now? But it's kind of like, not that anything goes, but it's just like, well, this Japanese person lived in Mexico for 20 years and decided they were going to move to the US and open a restaurant, you know. But
Yeah.
all of that to say, it's very much like this mixing type of culture here, because we do have so many different people that have moved here or immigrated here, and then they've also Americanized their food or their clothing or their anything to kind of like fit in, so to speak, in the US. And so, yeah, it was just really interesting to kind of go down that thought process of,
Do you know where it is, Diana?
oh,
Because
what?
it's the nature of lifestyle. What we
Mm.
have away from Africa is slightly different. I mean, you mentioned, is it half Cuba and half American?
Yes.
So I would imagine one of the parents might maybe they did not impose to speak Cuban, or is it,
Right.
you know?
Yeah. So
So
my
it's
immigrant
the
parents,
lifestyle. Yeah,
yeah, immigrant parents that move here, and there's a word for it. I can't remember what it is, but they try to they try to fit in so much because there's this fear of racial
not fear, not
profiling
try.
or, yeah, discrimination. And so, they only speak English. They make sure, or only make sure that their kids are learning English or integrate into the American lifestyle. And so you end up losing some of that culture because, yeah.
Absolutely. And that doesn't apply to your parents. That applies to me as well when I first came to the UK. first came to the UK, you had to engage with people and survive with people. What would you do? You have to speak the way people speak so you can make a space between them and you can have a job and a life, because that's why we came. We came for a better life. That's why we emigrated, type
Mm,
of thing. But what I'm coming back into what you said, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, so is England. England's got so many different cultures, the Indian, the Pakistani,
mhm,
Arabs now, the Middle East, Syrian, the Iraq, the every single nation is now has become a bit of a multicultural, but the aspects of life or the way of living has made us, even though as migrants, forget about our roots. I mean, my daughter, you ask my daughter anything about Morocco, she'll say, okay, she'll Google it, and then she'll give you an answer. So even, and I would say, imagine, I would class my daughter like yourself, Diana, because not much has been, well, apart from if she hears her mother talking about it, then she'll register. But because there isn't that link as much with Morocco as it is with me, because I was born and bred in Morocco. I studied in Morocco. I lived in Morocco. I migrated from Morocco at the age of 25. So I didn't do a migration of the age of 7. And that's what Bruce said to you. Remember on our last interview, I did say I did hear about stories. I lived story. I've
mhm,
witnessed stories. That makes sense. So coming back into the dance style in the America, I in the sorry in the UK, I had to survive people. So that's why the roots to the our background, our heritage has slightly diminished, or it only happens when I get jobs about this, like what we're talking about now, or if I've got to travel. And even my travel to Morocco has become more of a business now rather than a family business, even though I've got my roots there, brothers and sisters, my own house, my own this, my own that. You're still only traveling on a you're still working, you still because the nature of life, what I've learned from the UK, and what UK has given me this last 25 years I lived in it, that's how it become now, and that's how I've become in a way. So maybe that's how your parents were. So
yeah.
they've had to engage, they had to, that's exactly. And unfortunately, yes, that's what, now, and that's why, and I think it's very important you mentioned what you mentioned, because that's why I wanted to keep the Moroccan culture alive and the Moroccan culture spread within the dancers while I'm still in this business, while I can, because I don't think our roots should not exist. And I don't want to see my daughter one day. She'll say to friends, well, I'm Moroccan by origin. And that, thinking you've got nothing there on you that is Moroccan. You're only Moroccan by origin. That's just, you've descended from that. So I don't want that to happen, to be honest. And that's why I'm always fighting into keeping this cultural understanding and, this dance going and this music going, because it is very important. It is. But yeah, I see your point on there, Diana, and I agree with a lot of, well, I did a lot of maybe what your parents did on those days. So, I agree to that. So yeah.
I think it's and it's not an excuse. I think it's just more of then you have to make sure that you're going out and you're finding the sources and you're digging in, because just because you experienced this one thing or read this one whatever doesn't mean that that was, I mean, that was probably a watered down version. You know what I mean? You're like, you need to kind of dig deeper. So yeah, it's just, it's not an excuse. It's just that everything is so diminished and fused, at least over here in the US. It's like, okay, you've got to figure out how to separate it and then dive into the aspects that you're wanting to learn about.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would love to talk a little bit more, just kind of plug some of the classes that you have coming up, and then tell us more about your dance holidays so that everybody can tune in. And I, of course, will link to those and everything. But the classes that you've had with us already were the introduction to Morocco as a country. And I love the order of these classes because I know when we were talking about this last year or the year before, we were like, we want everybody to learn, you know, about Morocco as a country, and then learning, how diverse it is within just a small country, and how it's a crazy like
Really.
how many different aspects and how the different genres of music and just the different dances and everything. And then eventually get down into the visual aspect that a lot of dancers see, right? And that's the adornment, which we'll get to later on. So we went to the introduction to Morocco as a country, and then the main and popular music and dances of Morocco and the regions that they derive. And I love how you were so specific about this because you were like, there's no way that we can just say Moroccan dance and show one. Like it needs to be really clear that there's
No,
not just like a Moroccan, I'm doing Moroccan dance. It's like, no, 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 no.
no, it doesn't exist because there isn't. There is not anything called Moroccan dance. They're called Moroccan dances.
Yes,
There's
yes,
those
yes.
29, right? There's 29 known.
Wow.
No, there's 29 folkloric dance styles in Morocco, varied. Okay, there's 29 different music genre and style. Okay, so how could you say a Moroccan dance? What sort of part of Morocco are you representing?
Wow, 29. That's amazing. I still have a lot more work to do.
There's 29 different Moroccan dance styles. There's 29 different Moroccan music genre. There is they're really diverse. That's because of the country, the historical side, the influences it had, it lived, it went through, what brought us in, who, we're not one nation, we're a diverse of nations that
Mhm.
came to Morocco, lived in Morocco, and this is where we descend. You get the Arabs, the Amazigh, the Jewish, chiefs, all. So, like I says, it's very huge. It's very huge and diverse, type thing in a small country, in a small land. So yeah.
Wow, wow. To hear all of those and to see all of those different folkloric dance styles would be that's a whole life project.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And it doesn't stop in a month project or a life to or it's a lifetime research. It's a lifetime research. People got you got to travel to go. You've got to, search. You've got to, understand. Listen
Yeah.
to people's stories. Listen to people's stories. Um, so yeah, it's huge. It's like us digging into Egyptian culture, into the Egyptian dance. There isn't Egyptian dance, a Saidi dance, a Skandarani, an Oriental. There isn't. It's diverse. But I think what the common known about the Egyptian dance is the cabaret style. This is the common known about the Egyptian dance style is the Oriental or the cabaret, what I would class as the cabaret dance style. Yeah. But in Morocco, there isn't because it's not a cabaret style. It's folkloric. It's folklore. And the folklore represents people's regions, people's nation, people's identity.
Mm,
So, which folklore are you representing from Morocco? You got to be specific, aren't you? So, yeah, that's that. So, yeah.
yeah. I think it's really important when you use the word identity. I think that's really important for people to understand is that it's not just a culture or something on Google or something in a book or a piece of jewelry or whatever. Like it's somebody's identity. And so if you respect that culture, then you need to respect the people and their identity and make sure that you're a pro. I
Abs-
mean, that's like the answer to what to all of it. Right? It's like that's what you've been telling us. It's like that's their identity and make sure that you're respecting it.
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. And then the next couple of classes that we have coming out, we have, and I would love to hear you pronounce it the regatta
Regeda. Regeda.
regeda.
Regeda. There is a stress on the g, which is the G,
Good.
g. Geda. Regeda.
Geda, geda, right? Geda, regeda.
That's the one.
Ah, Yeah, and then also, okay, this one I was having a trouble. So we have that one, regeda dance,
That's
and then the Amazigh dance style,
yeah,
shlu. I'm not even gonna try.
sure.
Shlur awash.
شلوح أحواش شلوح شلوح the H you pronounce it with the ha. If you can don't forget that some syllabs in Arabic that are not or in Arabic Amazigh that are not used in the Western so the H is pronounced the H in the end is pronounced as ha 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 ha
Ha.
so shluh shluh
Shlu.
so there's the CH, there's the L element, finish with the H.
Ah,
It's like you've
shlu.
got a sore throat, sore throat. How would you?
Shlu.
Oh,
I'm still learning.
yeah. So shlur. So that's that. So there's a shlur, and ahwesh,
Ahwesh.
ah, which is the same sort of that syllable thing, ha 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 ha. So ahwesh.
Ahwesh.
That's the one.
Ahwesh.
You're doing it with a kha. You're bringing it from the kha,
Ha.
from the kha. There is no kha, no ha.
Okay.
Ahwesh.
Ahwesh.
That's the one, yeah.
Ahwesh. Ahwesh.
So the Amazigh, the Shloh Ahwesh is like I said, within the Amazighs, there's a different style. There's a different dance style within the Amazighs. Okay, there's a different. Now you mentioned the word identity, because obviously, and there's different identities within the Amazighs. Okay,
Mm,
so this is the shloh. We're using what we've done with the life is the shloh, the ahwesh, the shloh. Okay, so that's what we've actually done on that session. So yeah,
okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I've really loved them. So I've already, of course, the benefit of having these classes before their releases, I get to take them and I get to watch them. I get to take them. I get to take notes on them. And yeah, I was really, really intrigued. And so then I started Googling because now I have words that I can go out and Google and learn more about
yeah,
the war dance and the using of the sticks or rifles. And yeah,
yeah, yeah.
so
Absolutely, absolutely. That's that. So yes, so yes, we thought we shared these two dance styles, but it doesn't stop in here. That is not just Moroccan dance.
right.
That's the two dance styles. uh, to be searched, to be looked at, and to be studied as well. So yeah,
Yeah, it's like what, 1%, 2% of, of the dance
there's a
styles
lot
within Morocco, as we've learned.
of I know. So yes, no, that's that. So there's other styles as well, but I mean these two. This is just a start and beginning, and these two are quite a big thing. So yeah, no, yeah. So that's quite good.
And as I said, I love it because it doesn't feel like just a dance class. It feels like, I mean, every time I've watched them, what, three or four times, and I just keep picking up more things that you might
Word.
say kind of in passing. And then I love the way that you count us in Arabic. And so it just really feels, it just feels really good. So I appreciate your classes for sure. And then I'd love to hear a little bit. So, like, now it's time to plug all of your things that you've got going on. I'd love to hear how we can study with you outside of FCBDU. So, your dance holidays. I think you have some, I don't know if you're still doing online dance parties, but yeah, can you tell us a little bit about what you're up to?
Right, okay. Well, I still teach, but I only teach on festivals now, and as in when required by the dance community. So my regular class have stopped for various reasons because obviously, I don't have time, and as you know, there needs a lot of planning and organizing, and there's a lot of things I'm involved in at the moment. Um, it doesn't give me that time to actually spare myself on a weekly basis. So that is that. But I do teach out in dance communities, festivals around the country and abroad, as in when needed, whenever you need it. So that is that, and obviously with the in the UK we have festivals that the government puts in. So I'm involved in a lot on that, like Liverpool Arab Arts Festival. There's a WOMAD festival down south of the UK. So these are the festivals or dance festivals uh, that is actually organized by the government, by
Wow.
the UK. I think that's the only thing they do good with us these days. But that's by that. So yeah, and I do trips to cultural trips to Morocco, my homeland. I wouldn't do it anywhere else because, like I said, I left Morocco at the age of 25. So I better stick to what I know. I know best. And these cultural trips is mainly for dancers, and it's mainly for people seeking to learn a lot more about cultural Moroccan culture, the country, people, everything. And what we do, there's two different concepts into the dance, which is the fanoon, the one you might
Hmm.
have heard of, yeah, in
Yep.
the past. So the fanoon, yeah, fanoon involves all dance from different communities. Uh, Oriental, folkloric, or tribal, or any dance communities. It involves all variation of different schools. There is a new concept that was born last year, and I went absolutely fantastic and very hugely attended. And this year, I'm glad to say that it's well sold out. It's called the Maghreb Dance Congress,
Oh, yes.
and the actual it's in June. This one is in June. It usually takes place May and June, but this year with May and June. And the concept of this one is mainly what it is. It's a dance holiday, but mainly about folkloric only dances, but taught and learned from the sources. So basically, we've got Algerian dancer or teacher that's coming to do the Algerian dances. There's two of us Moroccans doing some. I'm doing some Moroccans, and Shadi with me as well. He's doing Moroccan and as well as some Tunisian. We've got Tunisian dancer, we've got Egyptian dancer coming in as well, doing the Egyptian folklore, like Saidi, like all just the folklore. So the concept of the Maghreb, which Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Libya, and Egypt, and even Mauritania. Uh, so the concept of the Maghreb Dance Congress is purely a week of intensive dance course taught by dancers of sources or dancers of origin, but they're only representing the culture they are from.
That's
So
amazing.
Algeria teaching Algerians, Moroccans are teaching Moroccans, Tunisian is teaching Tunisian, the Egyptians teaching Egyptian. Folklore, best folklore, that's it. So that's that, and yeah. So and obviously in Morocco, and it's a week of intensive, and in the evening we've got entertainment, we've got folkloric, different folkloric dance styles. We do have as well the parties and what you call it, the show at the end of the week for people to step up and dance and do their own performances. So yeah, it's a full on week, put it this way, full on week. But obviously Finoon is my baby. Finoon, it's been going on for nearly 20 years. It's Finoon Dance Cup now. But it's open to all different schools, different teachers from different styles coming together in Morocco and teaching what they know best, basically. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It sounds so amazing. I'm so glad that you're doing these, and we try to promote them. Like we try to cross post them when we see your posts. So we'll be sure to put these in the show notes as well. And I just want to take the opportunity to say, like, I know that there are lots of festivals going on in the world. I mean, not as many as there were before pre-pandemic days, but lots of festivals going on around the world. And if you really want to learn um, about the cultures and the sources, then try to find people that are from there and are taking you to their homeland, just like Nawarra is, and showing you, because you're going to get that much, like all the love and all the passion and all of the knowledge is just going to like come out in that event. And I just feel like you'll have such a better time. Just such a better time if you're going with somebody that's from that country. So thank you so much for putting these on for us. The Maghreb Dance Congress, I was really looking into that last year, and I was like, this is amazing. Like you can go and learn, and we can go to one place and learn from all of these different teachers and all of these different folkloric styles, and not have to. I mean, it's great to travel, but you don't have to travel to all these places that would take
Well,
years to do.
absolutely, absolutely. And it's it's something different. It's something, you use your own, how am I going to say, your own hobby, and you learn. And you know something, every single participant we've had in the past came back, and the only thing is they come refreshed. They come full of
Mhm.
information and refreshed. And like batteries charged, and some of them stopped dancing and they came back with us and they came back dancing. Some of them, some of them get rid of these days. They've been coming every single year and they're just watching. In fact, one of them, funny enough, it was yesterday morning, she sent me, she says, have you got the dates for 2025? Yeah.
That's her
She
annual
travels everywhere.
holiday.
She, travel, she travels everywhere around the world and she's well ahead with her timekeeping and, the dates. And I think, let me get the 2024 out and I'll see it so I can book you. I'm like, you're too early there for me, so give me a chance. But no, honestly, we're very friendly. I work with my big brother, so it's more of a family-run business. So
Oh.
we look after our participants. You get the best of it. So if you get a chance to come, and when you think about it, when you go anywhere around the world, how much it's when you think of what you spend in our camps and our congress, it's nothing. It really is nothing. So yeah, guys, and there's helping payments as well. So if people, people been doing monthly installments, because finding it a lot easier that way to pay it off. If they register 12 months in ahead and what have you. So yeah, so looking into it, guys, you will not be disappointed. That's all I can say.
Oh, thank you so much, Nawarra. You just inspire me so much to just want to learn more and something. I mean, and that's why I love working with you because the inspiration that you give, it's like, yeah, it inspires me to want to go and learn more. You've never shamed me for making a mistake or trying to learn something or pronouncing something wrong, or and you just like say, here's what it is, and then I can go off and research some more as I want and ask questions. And I'm just so grateful for our connection and your time.
Thank you. And I'm so grateful for our connection, Diana. And I really admire you and appreciate what the hard work you do. You bring in sources, you helping in raising an awareness about something called Morocco as a country, and we're calling Moroccan dances as different dance styles. Keep going. You've got a good community behind you. I love what you do. Don't let anybody, unsparkle your sparkles. You're absolutely doing fantastic and brilliant, stepping in into someone's, bringing it over and getting it to be seen and getting it to be shared. So this is something really, really, as a Moroccan, I'm proud to see someone like yourself doing it. So keep going, keep going.
Oh, thank you. That means the world to me, Nora. Well, I guess that's our time. I've really enjoyed this conversation, and I hope this is one of many. I can't wait. I'm hoping one day I can give you a hug in person and sit down with some tea and just enjoy conversation together. That would be so lovely.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And it'd be wonderful to meet you in person as well. We will. He's coming. He will. So we're just gonna,
Absolutely.
work it out there. But thank you very much for this. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, you're the best. And we will link to all of the ways that people can learn more about you. And again, my heart just goes out to you. Just lots of love, lots of love. And I'll talk to you soon.
Thank
We're
you.
going
You
to
take care.
celebrate
Have a good
May with
one.
Morocco. Okay, bye.
Bye.